That sounds fantastic.
All right, so you all know me. I'm Amber from the Dietitians and Virtual Practice Group, and of course, we're always interested in new systems, and Practice Better had been getting a lot of buzz. I checked it out. Have to say I'm a big fan and invited Natalie to collaborate on bringing just a demo to you guys so you can take a peek at the system and get your questions answered. So a little bit about Natalie. Natalie Garcia is a holistic nutritionist and a co-founder of Practice Better, an online practice management platform built specifically for health and wellness practitioners. She was inspired to create Practice Better as a result of the challenges she faced starting and managing her own practice. And we know those challenges all too well ourselves. So super excited you're here. And just a little bit of housekeeping. If you all have questions, drop those in the Q&A for us. The chat box moves pretty quick, so we'll keep an eye on the Q&A as we go along through the demo and get all of those answered as we go along.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you, Amber, and thank you for the warm welcome and for inviting me to join you today and talk to your group about Practice Better. I mean, as Amber said, so I am a holistic nutritionist, and when I finished school, I was really quickly faced with the reality that I also had to run a business, which, was pretty intimidating. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to get going. I'm going to take on new clients. I'm going to save the world one client at a time. And, I realized when I took on my first couple of clients, oh my goodness, the workload involved in, seeing clients, not only the actual recommendations that you're making with clients, but, the back end things, the things like the booking the appointments and sending reminder emails and, any sort of email you have to send with any sort of information for your clients, whether it be, follow-up documents or whatnot, it just all added up. So I had, a handful of clients and I was already like, how can I scale this? How can I make this, an actual career and not just kind of an expensive hobby, really? So at the time, there really weren't very many options for health and wellness professionals like ourselves. What was out there was really geared towards medical professionals, namely like MDs and chiropractors and that sort of thing. And they were really expensive. So it just never really made sense that you had to kind of attain a certain level of success before you could have the professional tools you needed to grow your business. So we decided we were going to do things a little bit differently. We really wanted to focus on giving health and wellness professionals a tool specifically for them. And make it affordable so you could start using it from day one. And then, and now here, a couple of years later, we've got Practice Better, and it's been pretty exciting. So I'm really happy to show you what you can do with Practice Better. All right, so I am going to share my screen with you. So who here, by the way, who here actually has used Practice Better before? So either is currently using it, has kind of played around with it, gone in and played on the free plan. Can you let us know your experience with Practice Better? All right, so Ryan, you're currently playing around on the free plan. Angela as well. All right, you've got more to learn. Yes, there's a lot to learn, but that's what's exciting. You can use as much or as little as you want, right? You can really kind of start with a couple features and then add on as you get more comfortable. Jennifer says she's currently using it and loving it. I know I still have a lot to learn. Yes, for sure. Stephanie's playing around with a free trial. Jen as well. Tanika as well. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So, I mean, you guys already have kind of an upper hand because you're not seeing it for the first time. If you are seeing it for the first time, don't worry, you're not going to be completely lost. I promise. I will be kind and I will walk you through it properly. So I am actually going to, one last thing, turn my video off so I'm not so distracting and you can concentrate on the platform. All right, can everyone see my screen?
I can see it on my end.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So this is your practitioner portal. So when you log into Practice Better, regardless of what plan you're on, this is what you're going to see. This is your practitioner portal. There is a client portal, and I'll show you what that looks like a bit later in our webinar. But basically from here, you're going to be able to manage and streamline a lot of different aspects of your practice. So for example, you're going to be able to manage your bookings. You're going to be able to manage your payments. So this way clients can pay and you're not chasing people down to be paid. You can manage your forms and waivers. So any forms that you want clients to complete, they can be scheduled to go out automatically based on the type of session that's being booked. You can easily share documents. You can communicate with your clients here. So there is a messenger. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. So we're going to jump in, and I'm going to kind of show you some of these kind of key features here. So under My Practice here, when you're getting set up for that first time, you're going to want to look at, kind of chipping away at this list. So My Profile is a really good place to start. You'll put your profile photo, your accreditations, a little biography about yourself that your clients are going to be able to see from their client portal. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Under My Services, so we'll click here. This is where you can set up services that either your clients will book for themselves if you're letting them book from, let's say, your website or the client portal, or also you could do these, do the bookings yourself. So here, you'll see this bottom right-hand corner, there's a red button. So this is our fast action button. And if ever you're like, I can't add a second one, or I can't do, I can only do one of these, go to the bottom right-hand corner, click on that red button. That's your quick access button, basically. So it brings up whatever main actions for whatever page you're on. So these features are constantly changing. So if we click on it, we can add a service. And here we can say, for example, initial consultation. You can color code it so it's just clear and easy to identify in your calendar. And add a description so your clients know what they're booking, right? You want to give them an idea as to what you're going to cover in that session and what they can expect. The duration of your session, so let's just say this one's 90 minutes. Your fee, so let's just say, it's $100. So if you're not in Canada or, you can very easily change the currency here, okay? So we could go to US dollars, Australian dollars, whatever, wherever you are. You can even set that as your default. So here, by default, it's going to say display your fee, okay? So if you're on the paid plan, so the Pro or Plus plan, you can actually require payment at the time of booking. So that means, one, you'll have to link either a Stripe or Square account. So Stripe and Square are our only integrated payment processors at the moment. So you'll link your Stripe or Square account, and then you can change the setting to require to pay at booking. So this means when your client books this session or requests this session, they'll have an option to put their credit card details in, and the payment will be processed right then and there, and the receipt will automatically be sent to them. So again, it's just one less thing that you have to think about. You can decide how this service is going to be available, so in person, online, or by phone, so all or any combination of these. We'll be able to restrict this further when we set up our availability, okay? So, later when we set up the availabilities, we can say Tuesdays, I'm only seeing clients online. So we'll look at that when we get to the availability. You can add buffer times if you're going to be seeing clients back to back. You could even add restrictions on how late clients can book, so you don't get those last minute bookings, and you're rushing to the office or wherever it is you're seeing clients. So you can restrict how late clients can book. And yeah, so once you add those individual services, like we would have just added this initial consultation, then you can combine those to create packages. So for example, I'm just going to edit this package. You're going to set up the package information, kind of like we set up the service information. You can add an expiration date to this package. So if you're offering a package and you want to make sure your client's using them within 6 months or 3 months or whatever it may be, you can assign an expiration date to this. Again, the payment options are exactly the same as with the service, where you can set the fee, require them to pay if you'd like them to pay. And then at the bottom here, you'll say add sessions to this package. So you'll get a list of all of the individual services you created, and now you can add them to the package. So if you say, I have got one initial consultation, you can even say that you want your client to book this one first. So let's say they don't start with a 30-minute follow-up instead of their initial consultation. And you can even make it mandatory for them to book this session at the time they purchase the package. So you can keep adding as many sessions as you'd like to your package. And what's really great is that we'll automatically keep track of what's been used. So you're not having to sit there and, you know, go back and count how many sessions Susan's had, or, you know, tally them up. It's all going to be automatically done for you. So that way, either when you go to book a session or Susan goes to book a session, it's going to say, you know, 2 sessions used, 4 sessions remaining. So it's nice and clear for you. You have this advanced options here where you can also set up payment plans, for example. So if you wanted to, you know, for your bigger ticket items, it's a $1,500 package. If you wanted to say, give your clients the option to pay in a payment plan, you can come here and you can set your deposit. So let's just make it easy. We're going to say we want a $500 deposit. You can allow your clients to pay the balance in installments, so the $1,000 balance in installments. And again, we're going to keep it nice and simple, so we'll say $500 there as well. When do you want this first installment payment to start? Let's say 1 month. Actually, we'll say 1 month after they've paid their deposit, and it's going to recur monthly. So your clients will always have the option to pay in full, but they'll also have the option to opt into this $500 deposit and 2 installment payments, which will capture their credit card details securely. And then they'll automatically be charged based on the schedule you've set. So the idea is that, again, you're not having to chase people down for payments. You don't have to set reminders for yourself to, oh, go in and charge this client on this date. It's set up and you can really just forget about it. Once you set up your services, you can go and set up availability, so you can manage it here. It's really easy. You just select a time, drag your cursor, decide if the time slot recurs. So if this, you know, you're available every Wednesday from 11 to 3:30, you would just say it recurs weekly, and then basically just turn on the services you want to turn on that day. So whatever you're offering on that day, you just turn on the toggle, and then, as I said, you can further restrict how you're going to see clients. So if you're working on multiple locations and you've set up multiple locations, you could just leave the one on where you're actually going to be seeing clients that day, so you don't have availability at the other 2 locations. Or again, you can restrict and say, I'm only seeing clients online that day. So there won't be availability for in-person or by phone. I hope that makes sense. Christy asks if we take insurance. So Christy, we don't yet take insurance. This is definitely something we are going to be adding a bit. Well, we're adding insurance support a bit later this summer. So we're going to be adding Superbuild and CMS 1500 forms. We're also looking at allowing you to submit claims from the platform. So that's something we're exploring right now. And we're definitely hopeful that that's going to be available around the same time. But we're really hoping that we're going to be able to take insurance through the platform a bit later this summer. Amanda says, so I set up a payment plan to include a service fee. Is there a way to do that? So at the moment, no. We are going to be changing in the next couple weeks. You're going to be able to set your payment plan fee to be different from the full payment. So I think that should accommodate that service fee. So you'll be able to set, your payment plan will be able to be a higher rate than if they paid in full. Let me know if that answers your question, Amanda. Under my practice, so now that we've set this up, actually under settings here, you can then manage when you want your email reminders to go out. So on both the Sprout and Pro plan, you have email reminders that go out to remind your clients of their upcoming sessions. So here you can decide when you want those email reminders to go out. So we can change it to, let's say, 2 days before. In the Plus plan, you have the option of also sending out text reminders. So those text reminders at the moment are available to clients who are in the States, in Canada, UK, Australia, or New Zealand. So you can decide, you can send the text reminder as well as the email reminder in the Plus plan if you're in those locations. Client forms and waivers. So here, basically, you can recreate any form that you're using currently right from the platform. So the idea is that your clients are just going to be able to fill them out online as opposed to having to download the form, complete the form, and then upload it back to you. So we do have some templates that you can use. So if you click again on this red button, bottom right-hand corner, the bottom option says Create from Template. So you have a list of templates that you can use. You can absolutely modify these to meet your own needs. In fact, we recommend it, of course. And let me just show you how easy it is to modify these. So when we open up this intake questionnaire, this is just a pretty basic, or general, I guess, not basic, but a general nutrition intake questionnaire. On the right-hand side, you see these different icons. So if you hover over them, it tells you what kind of question you can ask. So if I wanted to, let's say, insert a yes or no question, I would just click it and drag it to where I see where I want it to go. And it will be inserted where that solid gray line is. So when I release it, it will be added right there. So then I can just add my question in and click done. If you wanted to modify the way you know, any of the questions were worded, you could just click the edit button and modify them here. Change the type of question as well if you wanted to, right from the question, and also drag and drop them around. So you have quite a bit of flexibility to really format your form the way you'd like. We have a form update coming up in June, which will add a couple of other options in terms of types of questions you can ask. We'll be able to add tables to the questionnaires where you'll be able to customize them a bit more, so you'll have more flexibility. So Amanda, on the heels of that, you asked about e-faxing. So e-faxing is something we're also going to be looking at for when we release the insurance support. So e-faxing is kind of being clumped into that same insurance support update. All right. So now that you know how to set up the form, so you can click on the bottom right-hand corner, and the top option is where you can start your form from scratch, completely, you know, like it's a blank canvas, okay? If you want to do something like a consent form, you'll use the waiver section. So again, the bottom right-hand corner, as you can see, it's very useful. Create waiver, and it's a big old empty text box that you can basically copy paste whatever waiver consent form that you're currently having your clients complete. You can just copy paste it into here, format it, and you're going to notice this box here that says request client's name and signature. I can't unselect it, and that's because by default your client is going to be required to type in their name and sign their name. Okay, so when we look at the client portal later, I'll show you what it looks like for the client to actually fill out, to actually sign the document, but here's an example of a consent form. And then there will be the digital text box, or the digital signature box at the bottom. So they can use either their touchpad, or they can even use their mouse to sign. So the other great thing about this is, again, we're always looking to help you save some time and take things off of your list. So in terms of, we're starting to add more and more automation. So right now, if you go to the automations tab here, you can set up your forms to be automatically delivered to your clients. So if we click on the bottom right-hand corner, and I click the third option down, so send forms after booking is confirmed. So here I would name my automation. So no one's gonna see the name of this other than you. So if I say initial consultation automation, decide which automation will trigger this, or which automation, pardon me, which session or service will trigger this automation. So we'll say initial consultation. When do you want your forms to go out? So by default, it'll say immediately, but you can schedule them to go out 2 days before the session if you'd like, or 3 days before the session, or even post-session. So you have some flexibility here as to when you can deliver your form. If your client's going to be completing these forms multiple times, then you'll check mark this box that clients may complete forms multiple times, and we'll continue to send them even if they've completed the form once. If it's unchecked, however, and your client's already completed the form that's in the list, we won't send it again, okay? So for this initial consultation, I'm gonna send out this assumption of risk and release of liability, intake questionnaire, and I can add a little note saying, don't forget to have these completed by, you know, at least 48 hours before our session or something like that. So that additional note will go out with these forms every time. So you don't have to say hi, by the way, because this note is going to be added onto the email that's already being delivered with the forms, which will, you know, have a greeting and that sort of thing. So you just add a little note and click create. So you can add as many of those automations as you'd like. And basically, the automation is triggered when you confirm an appointment. So you'll get an email saying, Mary Smith has requested a session from you. You know, you'll log in to confirm that appointment, and then however those forms are scheduled to go out, that will be triggered. Jennifer asks, am I able to customize the message clients receive in their reminders? So not at the moment. So that is definitely coming in the coming weeks. What you can customize some emails right now, and that's found under settings and preferences. So if we click on this little gear in the top right corner, and then we say notification preferences. And then you've got this email templates. So these are the emails that you can customize right now. And we will be adding to this the reminders that your clients will receive. And you'll actually be able to customize them based on the type of session that's booked. So if you have, you know, 5 different types of services that your clients can book, you'll be able to customize 5 different emails so that they're really just getting the information that's pertinent to that session. So, all right, so Christy, you asked the same question. So are reminder emails customizable? So yeah, not yet, definitely coming in the near future. So not very far down the road. Questions with numbered scale of severity. You mean in the, so Sandra, so you're asking if there's a numbered scale. Is that in the questionnaires? There is a scale, so basically you can say on a scale of 1 to 10, and then you would decide what 1 would represent and what 10 would represent.
Yeah, I think she asked that when you were showing how you could modify the intake form. So I'm thinking that's when she was asking that question.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So Sandra, let me know if that answers that question. But yes, you do have that option. All right. So now that we've set up our forms, so I definitely recommend for those of you not already using the free plan or not already using, you know, one of the paid plans, set yourself as a test client. That's a really great way to kind of understand what the interaction is going to be like between yourself and a client. So that way you don't feel like you're throwing a client in blindly and you're like, what are they going to see? You know, what if I messed up? So it's really beneficial in that sense, but it's also beneficial to you to kind of start going through the motions and kind of practicing what's your workflow going to look like with your client. How am I going to do my charting? You know, basically like what's my workflow going to look like? So maybe even asking a friend or family member to run through as a test client can be a really great idea. And then once you're there and you kind of feel like, okay, I've got a good hold on this, you can always delete those test clients, because for the free account, you have a limit of 3 clients. So then you can delete your test clients so they don't count towards your limit. So if you want to add clients, you're going to head over to My Clients in the top left corner here, and you'll say Add Client. You'll enter your client's first name, last name, email address. And so then you have 2 options. So the first option is to create the profile and invite the client to join Practice Better. So this basically means they're going to set up their Practice Better account. They'll be able to log in, and they'll be able to see whatever resources you've shared with them. If you're giving them access to Practice Better, you scroll down and you also have the option to give them access to a couple journals. So by default, these are selected, but if you don't want to give your client access to these yet, you can always unselect them and give them access at any time in the future. So the first option is to give your client access to the Food and Mood Journal, and the second option is to give your clients access to the Lifestyle Journals. So we'll go over a little bit more what's included in both journals shortly. But just to give you an idea, you can always give them access now and remove it later, or don't give them access now and give them access later. If you don't want to give your clients access to the platform at all, or at least not yet, you can just create the client profile alone. So if you're still kind of dipping your toes and you're just kind of getting yourself set up, maybe you want to just use the platform for kind of managing your side of things and give your clients access when you're ready. Another instance where people might just create the profile alone, maybe your clients booked a free call with you and you're not quite sure if you're going to move forward working together. So you don't know if you want to give them access to the whole portal. So again, you can just create the profile only and then give them access, once you decide you're going to work together. All right. Amber, did I miss any questions in the chat? I've been paying attention more to the Q&A.
No, I've actually just been sending them all to the chat box. So
perfect.
Everything's over there for you.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. So under my clients, just let you know that your data is yours, right? You have access to your client files at all times. So for whatever reason, whether you want to back up or if ever you decide you don't want to continue working with Practice Better, you can come and export your information, okay? So we did this by either double clicking on my clients or going to my clients view all, and you'll get a list of all of your clients. Prospective clients here are clients that have requested sessions from either your website, or if you shared the booking link, let's say in a newsletter. They've booked outside of the client portal and they are not yet part of your client list. So they're just kind of hovering here until you add them as a client. Activated clients are going to be clients who have been added to the portal. So for example, if I wanted to export Janie Lewis's file, I could click on 3 dots here and say export data. So I can just export that data. It doesn't remove it from the website. So again, you can just be backing up. That's not a problem. If you wanted to deactivate a client who did have access to the platform, you can deactivate them, which would disable their access to the platform, and you could very easily just reactivate them afterwards. So they'll be moved to the list at the bottom. And if we go back to Janie Lewis, I'll just click activate, and now she would have access again. So if we're going to look at Mary Smith. She's going to be our test client here. So if we're going to go to my clients and say Mary Smith, for example, this is kind of what your client's file is going to look like. So right now I can see new journal entries submitted by Mary Smith. So if I click on, let's say April 11th, this is what her food and mood journals look like. So she can tell me what she had for breakfast. So she can use a nutritional database, kind of like MyFitnessPal, where we'll get this macronutrient breakdown of what she ate. Now, if you're working with someone with any sort of disordered eating, I'll show you shortly how to disable this. So your clients don't necessarily have to get the macronutrient breakdown of their food, but you, on the other hand, would still receive that information. If you wanted to comment on her breakfast, you could comment here, and then she could always comment back to you. Just going to scroll up here and take a look if I missed anything. Cheryl asks if you can personalize forms by adding logos. Yes. So Cheryl, you can personalize or you can brand your PDF documents in the Pro and Plus plan. And I'll show you that I'll show you that in a little bit. Basically, in the Pro plan, you can add your company colors and your logo. So anytime your clients are downloading, let's say their forms or their protocols or their invoices, your branding would be at the top of that. All right. Again, they can write what they ate in their own words. So if they don't want to be using the nutritional database, they just want to say, I had, scrambled eggs with toast, or here I had 2 tablespoons of hummus with carrot sticks. They can tell you in their own words. There will be no nutritional details associated with that part of the entry, just the raw broccoli. But they can absolutely track how they ate that way, and the other ways they can add a photo if they wanted. Let's go back to Mary Smith. Bookings and packages. So for example, if you're seeing you know, if any bookings that have been done through Practice Better will be available here. So I see that Mary Smith has a booking request. So the session, the requests, or when your client books, it is a request, so you do have to confirm it. So you would click on review, you would review the details of the session and either confirm it or decline it. You can modify the details if you wanted, and then just click confirm. You'll see the list of upcoming sessions for Mary. So I can see, for example, on April 25th, I have an online session scheduled. So this here is linked to our HIPAA compliant telehealth video conferencing platform. So basically here, this just means you don't have to be sending your clients externally for their video calls, right? You can do it right from in the portal. They'll get a reminder email with a link to join their session. And yeah, so the only thing is this is only available on the Pro and Plus plan. So it's not available on the free plan. But as soon as you upgrade, if you do decide to keep working with Practice Better, it'll be available there for you. So you would just click Start Session. It'll open up another window. The only thing to keep in mind about this is it's a video conferencing platform that's hosted on, it's browser-based. So that means that your clients do need a recent version of Chrome, Safari, or Firefox for the technology to be supported. So we remind your clients when they get the reminder emails, we remind them of what's supported. And the video conferencing isn't yet available on mobile devices until the app is available in the coming weeks. I know it's a mouthful. I'm giving you a lot of information at once. How's everybody doing? We're good?
We're good. Still
okay.
Loads of questions coming in.
Yes, that's good. So Christy asks what the reminder email says now. Let me see if I can find one. Coming session. So basically the reminder email just says, like, it's a friendly reminder about your upcoming session on whatever date. It'll say, hi, Wendy, or hi, Mary, or whatever. Here are the details for your upcoming session with practitioner's name. And it gives them the name of the session, how it's being conducted. If it's a in-person session, so let's say I'm working at 123 Main Street, if you set that up in your location, they'll also get the Google map for it, the address for it, and you can add additional notes. So for example, if it's a complicated driving instructions, or if you have to go all the way up this hall, turn left, and then veer right and dodge the kids on the tricycle, I mean, you could give them all that direction in the location setting, so that way it'll be included in every reminder. So Ryan asks, can we customize payments for different clients? For example, if we have a package for a number for X amount, but another client bargains for Y, are we able to modify the package for them in the system? Yes, that's a really great question. So if you're going to be customizing the plan for your clients, you'll set that up under My Practice, and we'll go to My Services, okay? And then you'll find your package under My Packages, and you'll say Create for Client. Okay, so again, if we're going to go to, let's say, Mary Smith, because that's who we're working with. Now it opens up in Mary Smith's file. I can add notes. I can change the package. I hadn't added sessions to it, but I can add sessions, right? And say Mary Smith gets, 5 of these, for example. And now I can change the fee. So I can say, actually, it's only going to be 12,000, 1,250. So I'll save it. Okay, so now my client's going to get, so Ryan, now your client is going to get this confirmation email that you've created a package for them. Okay, so it's going to open up into your client's file. So I'll see it down here. You can click on the 3 dots, and then you can say set up payment plan, or set up installment payments, pardon me. So here you would specify whatever frequency you want to charge Mary Smith on for this package. Does that help? Sandra asks, will we be able to upload our own resources that we can grant access to? Yes, that's a great question as well. Under My Practice, you have this document section here. So basically, you can create folders. So the top right-hand corner, you can say New Folder. and you can name your folder. So if it's recipes or if it's educational documents or whatever it might be, you can create a name for your folder and then upload documents to that folder from either your Google Drive and Dropbox if you've linked them, or right from your hard drive on the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, and I can attest that's a super easy and slick interface. So easy just to go in and toggle on and off who you want to give those folders to. I really like that feature.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah. And like Amber says, you're just basically toggling on and off who you want to give access to. So if I uploaded getting started, I can click on the little icon of the two people next to it. Oh, that's the shared one, sorry. The one right next to it says it's been shared. I need to click on this one. So manage sharing settings. It'll bring up a list of clients who have access to the portal. So this is important. They, at the moment, have to have access to the portal in order for you to share documents with them. I can check off Mary Smith, click update. And Diane Sear already had access, right? So when I click update, nothing's going to happen to Diane Sear. She's not going to be, re-notified of this document being shared with her. It's not going to change anything for her. But don't uncheck her name unless you want to remove her access. So then click update. And so you can see right here, for example, even just clicking on getting started on the bottom right-hand side of it, where you can see the details of the document, you can see who it's been shared with, and you can even see when you shared it with them. So you don't have to click through every document to see, oh, did I give that access to Mary Smith, for example? It's already there. So you can share, documents on a one-on-one basis, or you could even share folders with clients if you'd like. So if we go back into Mary Smith's file here, so I'm just trying to grab some of these questions at the same time. So Deborah asks, is there a way to charge a deposit when scheduling? Yes, and charge the remainder of the fee at the conclusion of the session. Yes, and you can also do that. So under my practice, and forgive me that I'm jumping around a little bit, but I don't want to let your questions accumulate too much. So under my services, let's say we set up this initial consultation here. So we'll click on edit. And then you'll say require to pay a booking. And then you have this advanced options tab here. And you'll basically just set up a payment plan. So you'll say add plan, and you'll only specify the deposit. So maybe I want $75 deposit, and I'll just save it. So your clients will still have the option to pay the full amount if they wanted, or they could just opt into paying the $75 deposit. So once that has been taken, once the $75 deposit has been taken and charged, that receipt will be available in your client's invoices. So right in their file. I don't have an example of it at the moment, but if I went to Mary Smith's file, I went to invoices and payments, it would say partially paid, and then you could just edit it and then resend it to your client, and balance will be requested from your client. Or if you have their card on file, if they're paying a deposit, their card should be on file. So then you could also just click process with their permission, see the details, click pay now, and then say submit, because their card will already be populated here. So Jen asks where the nutrient analysis comes from. So right now it comes from the USD and Canadian food databases. All right, so if we're going back to Mary Smith, so I can see again, I saw her invoices here. So if she's prepaying her sessions, I could come in, I would see they're paid, and I could view them as a PDF so I can see her receipts. And for example, for anyone who's branded their documents, they would see something similar to this, obviously with your icon in your brand colors, but this is what the receipt looks like. You can create new invoices by going to the bottom right-hand corner, create a blank invoice, create an invoice from a package, create an invoice from a booking. So it just kind of expedites the process. And so the details are already submitted here. So at the moment, we don't have the super bill feature, right? That's going to come later this summer. But if you needed to add information to this, you could add the codes, let's say, to the summary, or even write, you can even, likely you put in the summary. Or if there's just a bit of extra information you need to put into the line item, you can include it there as well. So it's not the permanent solution, but it may work in the meantime. Click save so long as you want to save it. Click send if you want to send a copy of this invoice to your client. So if you've linked Stripe or Square, once you click send, your client will get an email with the invoice, and they'll have the pay now option where they can put their credit card details in. If your client is in front of you, you can click process. Again, it becomes read only. Show them the details. And then again, say pay now. You can take cash if you want it, or credit card. And you also have the option to record alternative payments. So for example, you have these 3 dots up here. So if your client paid you via PayPal or email transfer, you could come in and say record a payment. Say they paid me $120 via, I don't know, debit machine or something. The date, you can add a note, add payment, and then you just click send, and now the receipt's going to be sent to your client. Client file. So client file right here is basically quick information you might want about your client. So at the moment, so basic information here is going to be your client's name, email address, the stuff they inputted when they registered for an account. However, the rest of the information at the moment is manually added. So what you can do is you can click on the bottom right-hand corner here, pull up an intake form or a questionnaire that's completed, and work on them side by side. So this is going to be changing shortly. In June, we're going to be introducing, end of May, June, we're going to be introducing a session note template or session note templates, and as well as being auto-populating some of these fields for you from, let's say, the completed forms. So right now, if you clicked on medical history, you could be asking about current health concerns and pre-diagnosed illnesses and that sort of thing. So some of these fields are going to be able to be auto-populated in the coming months. Again, because we want to automate some of this work so you're not having to sit here, and even if it's a copy and paste from the completed form, we want you to be able to be spending your time on other things. Nicole asks if Practice Better is supported on iPhone and iPad. Are the video visits supported on those devices as well? So yes, the platform is completely mobile friendly and optimized. The only exception to that is the video sessions. There are the more recent versions of the iPhone and iPad that are actually supported by, that actually support the video sessions. However, we just kind of say they're not yet supported on mobile devices because not all mobile devices do support the video conferencing until the app is available. So it's just safer to say it's only available on laptops and desktops, so that way your clients aren't trying to log in with unsupported versions of an iPhone or iPad, and then it interferes with your session. So that is coming soon, the full support for iPhone and iPad for the video, but otherwise everything else is supported on there. Val asks, can a client/RD enter journal info via mobile app or a mobile version of the Practice Better website? Yes, absolutely. So they can do everything that you can do from the website from your mobile device other than the video conferencing. And then when the mobile app is available in the coming weeks, you'll actually be able to have full functionality of the website in the app, and it'll be available for both iPhones and Androids. Bonnie asks, can you add PDF handouts to the platform? Or at this time, is it limited to preloaded forms? So you can upload your PDF documents to the documents section. Are you maybe referring to the actual forms? So do you want to upload PDF forms to the form section? If you can clarify that. So while we're checking, we're waiting on that from Bonnie. Oh yes, Bonnie, okay, great. So yeah, so you can upload forms or PDF forms to the forms and waivers section as well. So when you're in the forms and waivers section, you'll click on the bottom right-hand corner, so the little fast action button, and you'll say upload form or worksheet. And then you can select one from your computer, and it will be shared with your clients the same exact way all the other forms are shared with them. However, they will have to download it, complete it, and then upload it back into that same screen And I can show you what that looks like on the client side once we move there. So yeah, great question. So sessions, so at the moment when you're doing your charting, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to sessions, bottom right-hand corner to add a new session. And the way this currently looks is a blank text box where you can kind of format your session notes or your chart notes however you'd like. So we're gonna be adding to this, as I mentioned a bit earlier, we're gonna be adding templates. So basically if you're using SOAP notes, ADIME notes, you're always asking the same questions based, over and over again, you'll be able to create templates much like you create your forms in Practice Better. And then you'll just be filling in the information as opposed to formatting your session notes each time. So it's definitely going to be a huge time saver where you can just select whichever template you want to use. And right now, the way it works is if you'd like to share your session note with a client, you would say, I'd like my client to view these notes and attach documents. So you're sharing the whole session note. But once we add the templates, you're going to be able to specify which sections you'd like to share with your clients, if you want to share any sections at all. So they're going to be in chronological order here. You can attach documents. You can even link your protocol. So again, if you're looking back at, 6 months back, you go back and look at, I don't know, this is just March 21st, but if you go back and look at March 21st, you can see exactly what you talked about, whichever documents were discussed or shared, and whatever protocol was presented or worked on. Documents here will just take you to the documents shared between you and Mary Smith. So it takes me into the shared documents between us. I can search the folder. So if I wanted to see what Mary sent me via the messenger, I would click on messages. Otherwise, you just have a whole list of kind of unfiltered documents, so you could just see them at a glance as opposed to going through the different folders. Amanda asks, when did I say the insurance part was rolling out? So this summer, I don't have an exact deadline, an exact timeline, but it's going to be a bit later this summer. Nicole says, so iPad and iPhone will be supported in a few weeks. So iPad and iPhone will be supported, or the video component on iPad and iPhone will be supported, yes, in a few weeks. Otherwise, you can still do everything else on there. Bonnie says, I may have missed this, but is there a digital calendar for prospective clients to view and book their discovery complimentary session? Yes. So to share this, the link to your free session, you can click on My Practice, My Services. And so there are a couple ways you can share your services with your clients. So one being clicking on the 3 dots next to the service or the package, and you say share link. So then you would copy paste this link, and you would embed this into like a book now button on your website, right? So on your website, you could talk about this free discovery call, and then you could say book now and embed that same code or that same URL we just saw. So then your clients would be able to say, specify how they want to see you. They'd see the days shaded in that you're available, and then they would pick a time slot. So if I say like Jerry Clark, for example. I can't type. And so at this point, if it was a paid service, they would be prompted to put their credit card details in if you required the payment, and they'll say confirm and book. So that's the first way you can link your services to your website. The other way is you can create what we call bookings pages, which is basically, I'll show you this one here. It's basically a combination of different services in whatever order you'd like them to be presented. And this works well with, so you would copy paste the link, and this works well with things like tabs. So if you wanted to have like a work with me tabs or my services tabs, and then it would bring your client to your list of services there. And the third way is you can link it via widgets. So if you click on this little icon as well up here, you go down to logo and branding. You would say website links and widgets. And then you can create down here a widget to embed onto your website. So the way the widget looks is basically just the list of services and the book now button or register button. And then in the widget, you can actually customize the color, like the brand color. So in the titles as well as the buttons. And I can send you, just to write myself a note. I'll send you, when I send out the replay tomorrow, because this is being recorded, I'll send you the link on how to link these services to your website, because yeah, sometimes it's nice to have the actual written step-by-step how to do it. So I'll send that out with the replay. We go back to Mary Smith here. Protocols. So basically here you can make recommendations. I'm just going to preview this one to show you, but you can make recommendations for your clients based on food recommendations, supplement recommendations if you work with them, and lifestyle recommendations. So basically it's kind of like their homework, whatever it is you want them to work on. I know some of this is already tracked in, let's say, your SOAP notes, but you can also create, you know, a separate document for it so it's clear to them what they're working on. So you can say, for example, food recommendations, so foods to include. So give them examples of what you want them to include. Give them a reason, you can give them a reason as to why you would make this recommendation, how it might be beneficial to them. Foods to reduce, and foods to exclude as well. So you can break your food recommendations down like that. There are lifestyle recommendations in the platform that are already curated for you, so you can choose from those, or you can create your own lifestyle recommendations. Supplement recommendations, if you are working with supplements, we have FullScript integration. So basically FullScript, if you're not familiar with it, is an online dispensary. So basically you can make your supplement recommendations and and once your clients order them, they can be delivered right to your client's door.
Yeah, and that's a great integration. Oh my gosh. Love that integration. I didn't realize how much I needed it in my life. So
and it's only going to get better, because this is just the first version of the integration. And we spoke with FullScript last week, and they're working really hard to basically allow to give us access to all the features you have in FullScript. So if you're yeah, so if it's already beneficial to you, you're going to love the, you know, all the additional access that's going to be coming in the coming months.
And somebody's asking about Wellevate, and I'll just share my experience and you can answer their question, but I was using Wellevate and having a lot of issues with things not going through to my clients and emails getting lost, and switched over to FullScript just for the integration. And I will just say personally, between the two platforms, I am in love with FullScript.
Oh, wow.
Find it much more user-friendly than Wellevate. So
yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, FullScript's been around for a while now too, and yeah, they just seem to be getting better and better. Well, they're not, to be honest with you, we've had a lot of requests to integrate with them. That's not something we're close to down the road, but they're not set up for integrations at the moment. So that's, but I'm very happy to hear that you're using the FullScript one. And if you are working with supplements and you're not using FullScript, I would definitely recommend it. You can sign up. We've got up here, I'll just scroll up in the little gear up here. You set it up under third-party integration. So if you don't have a FullScript account, there's a link to sign up there. But it's really great because, you know, if you're already making these recommendations to your clients, one, you know, it helps them stay compliant because they actually purchase the product that's going to help them. But the other thing is you can also, you as the practitioner can also get a bit of a kickback on it. So depending on how much discount you want to give your patients, you can also earn a little bit extra on the side, which is always nice. So if you are using the supplement recommendations, we'd add the supplement recommendations here, and then we also generate a table for you, or for you and your clients. So it's just really clear to them what it is you want them to take, why. So for example, if we're looking at this Genestra CalMag liquid, you can give them reasons why you're recommending it. And again, they're going to see exactly when you want them to take it. So there's just less confusion, and there's also less back and forth. What did you say I need to do for this? And when did you say I need to do that? So you have the option to download it And they have the option to download it as well. So if you want a physical copy or digital copy, that's doable. And then when you're creating protocol recommendations, I'm just going to duplicate this one to give you an idea here. So you save it as a draft so long as you're working on it. Save it as a template. So that's another great feature, is that, you know, if you're working with the same clients over and over again, you can save these recommendations as templates, so that way you're not having to start from scratch every time. So you're just going to tweak that template for your individual client, or save it and publish it when you're ready to share with your client. And then another feature we just added like last week is you can save your recommendations. So again, if you're giving this recommendation to reduce how much processed foods they're eating, you could just say save recommendation, add tags to it so it's easier to find. And so when you're going to create a new protocol, you can choose from all of your saved recommendations. You could just select 15 recommendations all at the same time to add to your protocol. So again, you're not having to do the work over and over again. All right, forms and waivers. I know I'm definitely throwing a lot at you here, but we're getting through the practitioner side, and the idea is I just want you to have a sense of really what you can do with the platform, without, you know, kind of getting in there and being like, oh my gosh, like where do I start, you know? So again, you can start with as much or as little as you want. So under Mary Smith's file, again, we're in her file here. I can go to forms and waivers. I see what's been sent to her. So I see what's not been started. I can see what has been started. So I can view her completed document, for example, and see her signature. And I can even take notes. So if I wanted to say, you know, view/add notes on a completed form, I can go in, and so for example, if wherever she's answered a question, I'll have this blue text box below it where I can add notes that are private to myself. So maybe kind of like you're taking notes on a piece of paper, you still have that same functionality here. So if you want to remind yourself to do something, or somewhere you may want to go with your treatment plan, you can add those notes here, and they're private, so no one sees them. Christy asks, if you have more than one location, is there a way to modify that? Yes. So if you have more than one location, sorry, scroll back up, under my schedule, my locations. So there you can add multiple locations. And then that way you'll be able to choose, once you're setting up your availability, where you're offering your services on what day. Journals. So this is where, for example, if your client doesn't have access to journals, when you came in here, it would say add journal, and you would just click on the bottom right-hand corner. I can't do it because they already have access to both, but you click on the bottom right-hand corner and add their access to either one or both of these journals. So I can click to view their entries. So again, I can click through the really boring entries. They're very short, but I can click through, you know, again, the 11th had more on it. So I can click through and see what they had, their daily totals, how much water they had. So I can do that. The other great thing I can do is, again, as I mentioned, if you're working with people with disordered eating, you can click on edit here. And then you can say, do not display nutritional details for Mary. So this would disable that the nutritional breakdown for this client, just save changes, but you as a practitioner will still get that information. For people working with clients or patients with disordered eating, you can also edit the lifestyle journal to disable the weight tracking. So you can disable it, save the changes, so now they won't see any reference to tracking their weight. So Jen says, can a client test their browser before the session? Is that, or can that be included in the reminder? You can definitely set a reminder. Once you can automate the reminders, or not automate, customize the reminders, you can definitely let them know that they can do that. They can't necessarily test the session, but they can still go through all the steps where they'll go to their, either to their link or in their portal where it says join session, and then go through giving the browser the permissions to use their camera and their microphone. So that's a great recommendation. I would definitely, you know, or at least let them know to, you know, arrive maybe 5-10 minutes early in case they you know, in case they are a bit of a, not to say a slow learner, but less tech savvy is what I wanted to say. But you can definitely let them know that. It's not part of the reminder at the moment, but when we do add the reminders, you can definitely add that to any video reminder. So Val asks, what does the Practice Better scheduler look like when I add it to my website? So basically, it's just going to be a white box, and it's going to look like, so you're not going to have this green behind here. You're not going to have your image or any of this detail at the top. It's just going to be basically my program all the way down. So it's just going to be this white box here. Melissa asks, if you don't have a super bill at this time, can we upload our own super bill into the program and be able to send it to the client via email? You can absolutely upload your own super bill. I would do that. I would do that in a couple places. One, you can do it, let's say, through the chat. You can do it through the document section. So if you want to keep things nicely organized, you can go and put it into the document section, even create a super bill folder for that client, and then share it with the client. The other way, if you're sharing your session note with your client, you could even attach it to the session note and share everything together. So yes, you can definitely share your super bill until we have it available. Bonnie asks, what about education handouts? So we don't have any education handouts in the platform ready for you to use, but you can upload your own very easily right into the document section. So my practice and documents. And as we were chatting with Amber about earlier, you would just basically toggle or check mark whoever you want to give access to that handout at that time. And it'll go to your client's document section. So they'll also receive an email notification that you've shared a document with them. Angela asks, can the practitioner use Stylus for writing notes or just text with the keyboard? So at the moment, it's just text with the keyboard. Hopefully down the road, that's something we'll be able to do. I don't think that that's going to be part of our roadmap for this year, but we're definitely always looking for ways to make the platform, more user-friendly and more accessible. So that's definitely something we will not rule out. So I think the last things I want to show you on the practitioner side here, and then we'll jump to the client side, which is a pretty breezy compared to how much we can do on the practitioner side. So basically for branding, so you go to the little logo at the gear at the top right-hand corner. So settings and preferences, go to logo and branding. And so basically you would choose in the Pro and Plus plan, you would choose your company colors. You would scroll down and you would choose your logo that you'd like to show up on your PDF documents, how you want it to be aligned, the size of your logo, and then when you click Save and Preview, this is an example of your PDF document as your client would see it with your branding. So that's available in the Pro and Plus plan. However, in the Plus plan, which is our unlimited plan, you also can extend the same exact branding right through to the portal. So if you scroll up again, your company colors would remain the same. You could choose a logo that you would like to show instead of the better in the left-hand corner. And then that branding is going to be hosted under your own personalized URL. So if you clicked on personalized URL, you would select whatever subdomain you'd like to use, and you would click try it out. And then here's going to be an example of what your branded portal would look like. So as you're moving through different areas of the portal, you're going to see your branding colors carried over. And your clients will also see this in their client portal. So as they get any sort of email reminders from Practice Better on your behalf, they'll automatically be redirected to your personalized URL where your branding, is hosted. Nicole asks, what are the major differences between Practice Better and Calyx? I don't have a great answer for that. I'm not all that familiar with Calyx, to be honest with you. I'm sure some of you have used Calyx, so maybe you could chime in.
I haven't used it a lot other than just sort of a trial run. And I from my perspective, found both healthy and this one to be much more user friendly, especially from a patient standpoint or a client standpoint, which is why I didn't go any further with Calyx. So that's the limited experience I have with Calyx. Just not quite as user friendly from either the practitioner or the client side.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we have a lot of people who moved over from Calyx. I don't have much more to offer than Amber does. I do know that they were adding, I just know that they were adding like payments. So I think just the idea is that there are a lot of processes that we use on a daily basis that weren't necessarily integrated to kind of streamline kind of the whole process, like from beginning to end. So I guess that may not give you a better answer, but sorry. I guess I didn't really have much to offer to that. But if anyone else has used it, please feel free to chime in. Christy asks, are there templates for patient notes? So that's coming. So A-Diamond Soap note formats, that's going to be available towards the end of May, June. And that will be available, let's say, in your client file under session notes. So right now, it's just it's a text box that you can format however you'd like, but it's going to be, you'll be able to create these templates, and some templates will already be there available for you to use. So that's definitely coming, Christy. Ryan asks, when will multiple practitioner access be available? So Ryan, we're looking closer to the end of the year. So that's a great question. So for those of you working in collaboration with other practitioners or even other types of health and wellness professionals, we are going to be adding multiple practitioner access later this year. So you can either work in a team or in a clinic setting where everyone's kind of under the same account. We're also going to be adding later this year admin accounts. So basically likely to the plus plans. So if you are working with an intern or you're working with some sort of assistant and you'd like to give them limited access to the platform so they can manage your booking or invoicing or whatever that may be, that will also be available towards the end of the year. So Maria says, I also found Calyx super clunky and not intuitive, and that you can't send invoices. So I'm on the free trial. I'm on a free trial with Calyx and Practice Better, and Practice Better is way better. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Maria. That's awesome. I love hearing that, Practice Better, is intuitive and that you're enjoying it. We just really, really want to help, support you guys. So, all right. Last thing I want to show you in the practitioner portal here. And I really appreciate you guys all sticking through this, because I understand that technology is not always the coolest topic. But I really appreciate you guys sticking around all this time and also being so engaged. So you have down here, I'm just going to close that. You have a messenger down here. So basically your clients, as they get added to the platform, you can give them access to this chat. So you can set the default to either give them access from day one, or not give them access and give them access as you want to give them the ability to chat with you. So basically I can click on Mary Smith, and then I have this secure chat with Mary Smith going here. So I can move from page to page if I wanted, and that chat stays put, or I can maximize it and see it kind of full page, where we can also pin messages for each other on the right-hand side, things that you might want your client to, be mindful of and kind of be reminded of. So the really great thing is that your clients don't see if you're online. They don't see if you've read their messages. So you can really create whatever boundaries you want around this with your clients. Whereas you, as a practitioner, will see a little R with a check mark for when your clients have seen their messages. So just kind of helps, like you haven't heard back from them, but they're seeing your messages. It's just helpful. If you want to disable someone's access to the chat, you could just always click on the little gear and then uncheck their name and save changes. And now Mary Smith won't be able to chat with you anymore. All right. So we're going to move to the client portal. I'm going to see if I can grab some other questions here. So Angela says, can you talk a little bit about selling supplements via FullScript? Do they help determine the laws in individual states, or is that something you have to figure out on your own? So yes, so they don't, as far as I'm concerned, or that I know, they don't help determine any laws in individual states. It's basically, I think, up to you to know what you're allowed to do. Yeah, I don't believe is part of their service. But I think if you're ever unsure, you could definitely always, check in with your whatever institution you did your training with, and finding out from them what you're able to do within, your scope of practice. You could always check with FullScript, but I believe that is not part of it, to be honest with you. Let me know if there's anything additional in terms of selling supplements via FullScript that you wanted to know, other than determining the laws for different states. So Val says, full disclosure, I use Healthy, but I'm interested in several features you've described for Practice Better. How easy is it to move data from Healthy to talking FullScript now, Practice Better? Val, that's great. You know what, really all that matters is that you have a tool that supports you. So whether it's Healthy or it's Practice Better or Calyx, that's really all that matters. If you did ever decide you wanted to move over to Practice Better, our IT team can definitely help with that. So I do know in terms of Healthy, they can give you a spreadsheet with their basic client information that our IT team can then upload for you into your Practice Better account. They're also able to give you PDF documents for a majority of the information being pulled from there. So those you can either just store them securely for your own reference down the road, or you could even just rearrange those client files into folders and then very easily upload them to Practice Better. So it's pretty easy, especially to get started. You can just to get the basic client information on is we can help you with that and to expedite that. Melissa says, thank you, Natalie. Melissa, I'm not quite sure what I did, but you're welcome. Bonnie says, thanks, super platform. Signing up right after this webinar will save me some time. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear. Like I said, I understand the challenges so well. So when I think about you having a tool that, will really help you either see more clients or even just have more time to yourselves, it really means a lot. Angela says, thanks. Juliet, great question. So are you able to do group video conferencing and webinars via Practice Better? So at the moment, you're not able to. That's something we're going to be adding group support later this summer. So towards the end of the summer, we're going to be adding this. So you'll be able to see at that time, be able to do webinars and group video conferencing, and then also have additional booking options and that sort of thing. So that's coming towards the end of the summer, but at the moment it's mainly one-to-one. We do also have in the platform programs features. So although it is still technically one-to-one, you could run multiple people through the same program at the same time. Though if you wanted to add a video component to that, I would recommend using something like Zoom, or if you have a Facebook group, doing a Facebook Live. Yeah. So at the moment, the video conferencing will have to be done outside of Practice Better. All right. Hey, we got through all the questions that are there so far, so yay. Okay, so this is your client portal. So when your clients are logging into the client portal, or you're logging in as a client here while you're kind of testing it out, if they do have a program with you, so I didn't show you how to set that up, but if they are going through a program with you, they would click on their program, and I just want to give you an idea as to what this looks like. So they would see, one module is completed, 1 of 5. They would see the name of the program, the description, how many modules and how many modules are unlocked. They would see all the modules down here, as well as on the left-hand side. So basically, they can just click on the module, and they would see this module here. So you can add tasks to the individual modules, as well as adding forms or worksheets to help keep your clients accountable as they're running through the program. Again, so when you're doing this, you can either create the text right into the text editor like this, or if you already have a program ready to go and you're using like a PDF, you could just attach your PDFs and it'll still look great and streamlined. And I think this one is a PDF. Yeah, so you can attach videos as well. So if we go to, if I can scroll through, I don't know why I started at the bottom, but so it's still pretty clean, even if you're going to attach it as a PDF, and then your clients could also download it if you gave them the option to download. So the idea here is, you know, if you want to be offering online courses or challenges or that sort of thing, you don't have to use a separate platform. And this way you can also couple the online program with some sort of coaching component or giving them access to the food and mood journal or whatever. So you can kind of upgrade or upsell your services around the program if, you know, they want additional support. They see their most recent protocol here, just like we saw, exactly like we saw on the practitioner portal. So they can download it. If it's linked to FullScript, they can click to order their supplements, which will redirect them to the FullScript website. They can see their forms. So they would have been, if they have access to the platform, they would have been advised of all of this stuff via email as well. So for things like they need to sign, so this assumption of risk and release of liability, they'll click on complete. They'll read through your terms very carefully, and then they'll type in their name. And then they'll use either their touchpad or their mouse to sign. So as they say, save and submit, now this form is going to automatically be shared with you, and you'll also get a notification that Mary Smith has completed her form. For forms, oh shoot, I finished it already. Okay, so I don't have an example for it. This intake form is a PDF that I wanted to show you how the client completes. But basically, yeah, they're gonna have, let me go, I'll send it from, just bear with me so you can see what this looks like. I'll send it from the practitioner portal. Sorry that you're waiting. So send to, working out of 2 accounts right now. Okay, so now if I refresh this, Mary Smith should have a new form. Great. So the free call survey, for example, they'll click complete. They'll download the form to complete, so the PDF document that you want them to complete, and then they'll attach the file here. So they'll upload it back to you here. Tanika says that's a good way to keep clients engaged if they have they've been given access to the or what's a good way? Sorry, what's a good way to keep them engaged? That's a good question. I mean, it depends on how much you want them to do. A good way is to give them feedback. So if they are, you know, if they are, for example, tracking what they're eating, would be to give them, you know, give them some feedback, some comments on their journal entries, that sort of thing. Or creating tasks for them, things you want them to complete. Yeah, I think creating tasks for them or just giving them comments on their journal entries is a great way to, you know, for them to see that interaction. But then again, not every practitioner may offer that that same commenting or feedback on every journal entry. So I'm shaking my head, you can't see. I'm like, yeah, I think, you know, commenting or giving them access to the messenger where you can kind of go back and forth with them is a good way. The other really good thing is when you are seeing your clients during your sessions, you could go right into their journals and view the entries. So now if they're kind of at a place where, you know, they've plateaued, they're not really seeing the same results they were seeing, you may want to say, hey, well, let's go in and look at your journal entries. And one is you can, you know, if they are tracking what they're eating, you can show them exactly, you know, where they can make modifications. But if they're not tracking what they're eating, you could really say, hey, listen, like, you know, if we had this information, do you understand like how much more feedback I'd be able to give you, or what, you know, how invaluable that information would be now looking back on, you know, why things have kind of hit a plateau. So you can show them basically the sort of information that you can collect from them and how it can be used to help better support them. And again, if they're not using it, you can say, well, you know, if you would be tracking what you're eating, then I would be able to XYZ to better support you. I hope that answers your question. But again, that's just one, you know, that's just a couple options. There's obviously no, there are no wrong ways to keep your clients accountable. All right, so your clients can request a session. So if there's a video, not a video, but if you have a package going for your client, they'll first be asked if they want to book from their package. Likely they'll have one package going, but they can say my 3-month package. They'll see what's remaining. So they see they have 2 60-minute follow-ups used, 3 remaining and 1 pending request. So they can click here to book their subsequent sessions. So choose a date and a time and next. If they have a video call scheduled, it'll be under bookings and they'll see this join session button here. They can confirm that they're going to attend. They can reschedule, they can cancel, that sort of thing. They see, for example, again, their programs here, and then they can view it at, you know, the full program. They can see session notes. So if you've shared session notes with them, they'll be available under session notes. And any documents that have been added will be available here. So they could just view it or download the document here. So if you are sharing your super bills with the session notes, it will be available right under the session note. Protocols. So all protocols that you've shared with your clients that have not been archived will be visible to your clients here. So they can view them or download them. Again, order supplements if there are supplements linked to FullScript. Their journals, that's just another way to access their journals. Their documents, so documents you're sharing with them will be accessible here under their documents section. They can also upload documents back to you by using the bottom right-hand corner here. So they can upload documents straight to you. It'll go into the shared documents section and you'll get an email notification that they've shared something with you. And then they also have, for example, their food and mood journal. So this is what it looks like for them to track what they're eating. So if I say add, so if I just write something to the search bar here, this is going to bring them to the nutritional database. So again, if I'm going to say oatmeal, just to make things simple, and search it, so everything under the sun with oatmeal is going to show up. So if I say cooked oatmeal made with milk, how many servings? So maybe they had half a serving. Again, if you had disabled the nutritional details, the nutrition facts down here wouldn't show up either. Neither would these details or the details on the right-hand side. Okay, but you as a practitioner, as I said, will still get access to all that information. And then they can tell you where did they eat their meal? How did they feel before they ate? How did they feel after they ate? So this information is obviously really important to you as the practitioner, but it's also a really great tool for your clients to kind of start making that connection between what they're eating and how they're feeling. And so they can also track using just the free form entry where they say, you know, I had scrambled eggs and toast, or they can select a photo to show you what they ate. We go back home, their lifestyle journals here, so they can tell you how they're feeling overall. So I'm feeling great, you know, I've been on your plan for a week now and I just feel like a new person, I have more energy, whatever they want to tell you. Their bowel movements, did they go today? They didn't go today. When did they go? What did it, you know, was it satisfying? What did it look like? What color was it? So they can share all this information with you, and you can even tell you if they feel like it may have been affected by something they ate or something they took. And again, as your clients are going to be entering this information, you can give them, just like you did on the food and mood journal, you can give them feedback. Wait, unless this has been disabled, they can check in with you and let you know how they're doing. there have been any changes in their weight. And the note section is a really great section just for them to kind of touch base with you. You know, so if they're telling you, you know, between sessions, how they've been doing, things they've been doing well with, or things that they've been struggling with, it's a really great tool for them just to kind of share with you any information, or even attach, you know, images or documents to kind of support whatever it is that they're sharing with you. So that in a nutshell, in a nutshell, in a big nutshell, but in a nutshell, is basically what you can do with the platform.
It was a long nutshell, but a good one.
It's a long nutshell, yes, I know. And I know, like I said, I definitely understand that it's like overwhelming, but I just want you to see what, you know, the extent of what you can do is, and you know, decide what works for you. But yeah, long nutshell for sure.
Well, I think you managed to get through all the questions, and I don't see any new ones popping up.
Yeah. Were there any other questions? Or are you guys all asleep? Luckily, we can't hear snoring on this.
I think they're out questioned, which is pretty impressive. Oh,
very funny, Ryan. He says, Z, yeah. Yeah, very funny. Well, at least you woke up for that part.
Val asks, how do you set the daily lifestyle focus?
So the daily lifestyle focus, great question. So the daily lifestyle focus is going to basically come from one of two places. So from your protocols, when you're creating lifestyle recommendations, those will cycle through the lifestyle focus. So as you see, if I refresh this page, the lifestyle focus is going to be different. And you can also set up in your client's file under recommendations, you can also set up different lifestyle focuses that may be unattached to a protocol. So they'll just cycle through as just a quick reminder of one thing they can focus on, if nothing else. And I do want to say this before I forget, and this will go out in the reminder email. So also people that are hearing this on the replay, they'll have access. I am, for the next week, we are going to be giving you a discount. So a 30% discount for your first 3 months on the platform. And I'll write it into the chat, and I'll also include it in the replay email so that way everyone can get it. But it's Health Pro HQ 30. So you can use this until the end of the day, May 1st. So you have a week to use it. It's 30% off your first 3 months on the platform. So already the fees are in Canadian dollars. Most of you, I think, most of you were in the States. So the first plan is the Pro plan, and it's 45 Canadian dollars, which in US dollars is about $36. It might be a little bit less depending. So then you get an additional 30% off that for your first 3 months. And then the unlimited plan is 65 Canadian dollars, which comes out to about 50 US dollars. And then you get the additional 30% off of that for 3 months. So yeah, I didn't want to forget. If we got through this and I forgot to tell you guys about the offer, that would be terrible.
I agree, Val. Super cool. Lots of really, really cool features. I have to say the protocol piece was like the thing that sold me. I was so tired of writing up my protocols and uploading them that was just genius.
Good. And you know, we love your feedback. So as you're playing through with the platform, whether you're on the free plan or you're the paid plan, let us know what you think, what you want. You know, if there are any holes in your workflow, we love to hear what you have to say. And our IT team is so receptive. So if it's something we can add relatively quickly, we will absolutely do that. If it's something that takes a bit more time, we'll add it to our roadmap. But we're releasing features most weeks. So a lot changes, and it changes fast. So let us know.
Well, thank you so much for generously offering your time to demo this. I know sometimes it's easier to see someone, you know, who knows what they're doing demonstrate a tool than to get in and try to figure it out yourself. So I know I greatly, greatly appreciate your time and doing this for us, Natalie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It's honestly, it's my pleasure. And so don't forget, if you have any questions, you can email us. You can email us right at, right in the portal, actually. You have this question mark. And if you just click on report an issue or problem, it'll go straight to our help team. Otherwise, you can send an email to team@practicebetter.io. And as I said, this email will go out tomorrow morning with the replay.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you have a couple more comments over there in the chat for you, Natalie. Just appreciating and loving the tool so far. So
awesome, Jennifer. That's awesome to hear. So she says that it's been fabulous. She's a current user. Just reminds me of what a wonderful platform Practice Better is. Thank you for all the work you've done to create it. And Angela says yes, so appreciated. Thanks. Thank you all. All right. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you again for sticking with us. And thank you again, Amber, for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Have a fantastic day.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.